Coming up, we share what you need to know to get yours.
Sticking to the ID cards, find out what perks are available with your Bulldog ID card.
And Fresno State women's basketball has a new coach. We'll tell you who he is. Fresno State Focus starts now. Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Spencer Baird.
And I'm Joseph Joyce. We have a lot to cover today in Fresno State Focus.
The world is mourning the passing of Pope Francis, and now the Vatican is preparing for his funeral. The Vatican confirmed the passing of Pope Francis just one day after Easter Sunday and his last public appearance, where he delivered a message of peace. After suffering from double pneumonia, Francis died of a stroke and heart failure. He was the first pope from the Americas and led the church for more than a decade. Following his death, tributes are pouring in from all around the world, honoring his legacy.
Great loss, not just to the Christian world. I believe it's a great loss to our humanity. Pope Francis was a beautiful soul, a very genuine man of faith who understood and showed us by example, not just by words.
Pope Francis's funeral will be held Saturday in front of St. Peter's Basilica. Thousands are expected to gather and say their final goodbyes.
Travel season is coming up, especially for students. However, there is an upcoming change that could affect how many are flying. Elizabeth Andres Aguilar shows us what Real ID is.
Graduation season is here, which means grad trips are close behind. But an important deadline for travel is coming, and for many students, some are in the dark of what exactly it is.
I know what it is. I've heard of it. I do not have it though, so I definitely should get informed on it.
Fresno State student Abraham Cruz is talking about Real IDs. Passed in 2005, the Real ID Act requires all state driver's license to meet federally compliant standards. A Real ID will be required to enter federal buildings and to fly. The deadline to get one is May 7th. But a Real ID requires more when applying than a regular driver's license.
So you have to show one identification. That might be your passport or a birth certificate. And then you have to show two forms of where you reside. So it has to like a cable bill or a utility bill of some sort, so that we know you're a California resident, your name matches on your utility bills with your driver's license or passport or birth certificate.
But this has creeped up on many, causing a spike in people going to the DMV for their Real ID appointment. So much so that the DMV is issuing a recommendation. They recommend for people to wait to renew their driver's license or ID and then upgrade to a Real ID. But if you've already renewed your license and or your graduation trip is well before your renewal, there is another option: a passport. While a passport may cost more, it offers more benefits for flyers. And for Fresno State students, they can apply for a passport on campus. The passport office is on the first floor of the Kremen Education Building. Here, appointments are needed, but there's an interesting perk for students.
With the exception of Fresno State students, we do allow Fresno State students to walk in Monday through Friday from 9 to 2 without an appointment.
Here, all the required documents are available with the handy checklist. Applicants can be in and out of the building in 15 minutes if they have all their documents ready. And there's another benefit for using the passport office on campus. The execution fee, which is $35, goes towards Fresno State students studying abroad. May 7th is just around the corner, so it's important to stay on top of things, especially if you plan on flying after graduation. From the Kremen Education Building, Elizabeth Andres Aguilar, Fresno State Focus.
TSA is warning flyers that security lines may be slow in the first few months of the Real ID requirements. And if you do show up without a Real ID, you may be required to go through extra screenings, or you could be denied access to the security checkpoint.
As our world becomes more globalized, student interest in going abroad has risen. Scholarships, grants, and opportunities have made this possibility a reality for Fresno State students. Located in the Family Food and Science Building, the Study Abroad office is the place to go when you want to start your journey abroad. Current opportunities in countries such as Spain, France, Turkey, or Portugal are now available to all students.
I think it's good to experience things, learn from other people's cultures, try different foods, and especially while you're young, because you could take those life experiences and you could teach them to the people around you, and as you grow older.
The Study Abroad office is currently giving out scholarships to anyone interested in going abroad next semester.
April is Stress Awareness Month, and finals are creeping up. The Student Health and Counseling Center hosted a pop-up event to help students fight back against stress. With different resources, clubs, and activities, students had a place to not only learn how to distress, but also to take some time to breathe and have fun. Daniela Mendoza says it's important for students to take care of their mental health.
It's easy to not eat. It's easy to, forget to sleep or you have trouble sleeping. And then it's a snowball effect of then you can't focus in class and you can't do your assignment, you're too tired. So trying to get ahead of it, get ahead of your mental health, everything else falls into place.
A helpful reminder for students, there are clubs and resources on campus to help, especially during stressful times.
Stress can be a contributing factor to a number of health problems, including alopecia.
Nathan Ortiz is in the studio to tell us more about the condition.
According to the American Hair Loss Association, 1 in every 50 Americans in the United States suffer from hair loss. This hair loss affects both people physically and emotionally. I visited a dermatology clinic to get some more insight on this condition that affects millions of people in our country. Our hair is one of the most important parts of our identities as humans. Hair loss is a common condition which affects around 80 million Americans. Alopecia is one of the most prevalent of these conditions.
One of them, a big one that we have here, is called alopecia, which is very devastating to women and affects a lot of women.
Symptoms of alopecia include hair shedding, premature balding, and thinning of hair. Losing your hair can hide in feelings of insecurity and anxiety. Many of those who suffer from alopecia try all sorts of home remedies to halt hair loss. It's a really individual condition and no two people have it the same. But one thing that brings the alopecia community together is home remedies. One of these remedies being avocado oil. Although not scientifically proven, people who use it reportedly claim to see a reduction in hair loss and promotion in hair growth when repeatedly massaging it into their scalps. Although there may be home remedies, the most efficient way to treat alopecia is through professional help. Alexis Moreno, a nursing assistant at a local dermatology clinic, informs us on medical treatments offered to those who suffer from alopecia.
Treatments can range from injections to topicals to oral medication. One of my favorite treatments for alopecia is PRP, which is actually where we take the plasma from your blood and we spin it and we re-inject it into your scalp, and that has growth factors.
Coming to you from Fresno, Nathan Ortiz, Fresno State Focus.
Thank you for that, Nathan. Warmer weather means more chances to get outside with our furry friends, but it also means it's time to check in on their health. The Fresno State Pre-Veterinary Club is hosting a special event for dogs this weekend.
Abraham Cruz is live at the Animal Science Pavilion with more on what to expect from the vaccine and microchip clinic. Abraham?
Thank you, guys. I'm standing inside the Animal Science Pavilion building where the Fresno State Pre-Vet Club is going to be holding their annual vaccine and microchip clinic this Saturday. Here standing next to me is the president of the Pre-Vet Club and the treasurer of the Pre-Vet Club, Callie Doyle and Stephanie Van Ness. Callie, what can we look forward to this Saturday?
Hey, so this weekend on Saturday, we're going to be having our vaccine and microchip clinic here behind us. It'll be lasting from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So come and bring your dogs. It's dogs only. You don't need an appointment. And this is just a great way for our members to gain hands-on experience so that they have experience to put on their applications to vet school. So it's also a really great fundraiser for the club.
Definitely. Thank you, Callie. And Stephanie, what are we looking at for prices?
Yeah, so we're offering the rabies vaccine for $10, the Semper Parvo vaccine for $15, microchips for $25, and nail trims for $6.
Okay, thank you. And what kind of what other services are being offered in this?
So we're just going to be providing the nail trims, the microchips, and a nice service that we have is we'll have an organization here from a kennel club that's going to be registering the vaccines and microchips for us as well.
Definitely, thank you so much. Coming at you live from the Fresno State Pavilion, Animal Science Pavilion building, Abraham Cruz, Fresno State Focus.
Thank you, Abraham. Each student who attends Fresno State is required by the university to obtain a Bulldog ID card, but what exactly can they use it for? I walked around campus to find the answer. Whether a student just enrolled or has been at Fresno State for years, one thing they all have in common is a Bulldog ID card. But what is the process like for getting their hands on one of these cards?
It's a simple process, honestly. We took our pictures from our own home, we send it in, and then they tell us when it's ready. And then one random day when I was uptown, I came here to stay and picked it up. It was pretty easy, maybe 30 minutes out of my day.
Here at the Joyle Administration Building, students are able to access admissions, financial aid, and student records with their Bulldog ID card. But that isn't the only thing this ID card is able to get you on campus. Around Fresno State, there are 3 large gated fences known as bike barns that students can use their ID card to scan in and store their bikes and scooters. Each barn also includes a red bike repair kit in case of emergencies.
I actually use my ID card almost every day to go to the gym at the recreation center. I really enjoy going there, and makes it a little bit easier. You just hand your ID instead of having to type it in or do something else with it. You just kind of swipe and walk.
Besides the gym, there are also many services in the library that students can use their card for. This includes study rooms, a prayer and meditation room, and access to printers that students can use to print material they need for their classes.
I feel like the main uses are just to allow us into some buildings or places here, for example, the bike racks, but I feel like there is a lot of confirmation to where like random people can get into a lot of buildings here, but I feel like if we have our IDs, we can make it more secure and better for the students to leave it to the students to use the stuff here on campus.
Other buildings on campus that students must have their ID cards include the University Dining Hall and the Student Health and Counseling Center. If a student ends up losing their card, they could head to the Cashier Services window in the Joyle Administration Building for a replacement. For more information, check out my story on the Fresno State Focus website.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus, find out how goats are tour guides in the foothills.
And how board games can promote a more inclusive campus community.
And it's rodeo time. I'll fill you in on all the temperatures you can expect for your weekend full of fun at the rodeo grounds.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
Hi everyone, McKenna Deeth here with your focus on weather. So it's rodeo time this weekend, so let's put our hats on and look at what we could expect this weekend. So behind me here, we have Memorial Gardens. It is a beautiful day here on campus, a little bit windy, so look out for that. But as we move into our national satellite here, it's pretty clear on the West Coast, but as we move East Coast, there are some thunderstorms expected in the Texas area. And on the East Coast, skies are sunny, skies are clear. It's feeling like summer over there. And on the western side of it, pretty clear, like I said, dry. Temperatures are high, but they are expected to go down in the coming days, which we'll talk about in a second. And here are some of the highs of today. They're pretty low 70s up north, but as we move down, they are going to be expected to get to the 80s. And here are some lows, low 40s, high 40s, depending the area. The air quality is surprisingly good. And in Kern County, it is a little bit moderate, so we will keep an eye out for that as well. And here's our extended outlook. Let me step out of the way for you here. Thursday, it is going to be a little bit cloudy, but it is going to be still warm. And then moving into Saturday, it's going to be raining in the morning, a 70% chance of that. And as we move into next week, it's going to clear up and get very sunny once again. Have a great weekend, everyone. That's been your focus on weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, McKenna. For many Central Valley residents, hiking in the Sierra Nevada is a popular leisure activity, but going on a hike with the help of goats is a whole other story. Jared Smith hits the trail to explore a unique business model.
The Cuyama Valley is a lonely town in the middle of the high desert. But in this lonely valley, there is an oasis, the Cuyama Buckhorn. The Buckhorn is a watering hole for locals and a weekend getaway for tourists. Sam Siedenberg is the bar lead at the Buckhorn with a strong passion for nature.
Thank you.
In his years of bartending at the Buckhorn, many guests have asked where they can go to explore. It was a tricky question to answer.
I was writing directions on napkins, like maps out for people, leading them into the backcountry.
These conversations sparked a unique business venture for Siedenberg and the Buckhorn, goat-led hiking.
We figured, well, why don't we build some trails on there? So I explored the property, I found some cool routes, built some trails, and then the goats came into the picture, and it kind of went from there.
Meet Manzana and Sisquoc. These goats are Siedenberg's sidekicks on his hikes, packing water and snacks for guests while they take in the natural beauty.
The guided goat tour starts here at the Cuyama Buckhorn, right off the 166, then transitions up to the foothills where visitors hike around with the goats, and Sam makes fantastic mocktails.
They guide guests on hikes in the Cuyama foothills, talking about the history of the valley, the flora and fauna of the area, and of course, his goats. Aside from being helpful, the goats make for good company along the hike. While on the hike, Siedenberg points out plants that are edible and harvests some. Once the hike loops back to the goat pen, the harvested plants are used to make mocktails for guests to cool off and enjoy. Siedenberg says he wants this modest project to keep true to its roots.
I don't want this project to grow. It's me and it's 3 goats, and that's what it is.
Reporting in the Cuyama Valley, Jarrett Smith, Fresno State Focus.
The goat hikes go on year-round, so there is plenty of time for you to explore the Cuyama Valley with Manzana and Sisquoc.
This week, the Phoebe Conley Art Gallery is set to host this year's interior design capstone exhibition. The participating seniors use this opportunity to display their hard work from the last 4 years. The exhibit showcases individual creativity and plans for varying businesses of the students' choice. Gallery technician Michelle Gones says these shows are significant for graduating seniors.
So what's really great about this is the professional aspect of it. So it gives our students who have been spending all of this time learning interior design an opportunity to meet with professionals in the community and beyond who are looking to hire students.
A reception will be held tomorrow from 5 to 7 p.m. The exhibition will remain open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. the rest of this week.
There is a club on campus committed to connecting students from all career paths and departments. How are they doing it? Through board games. I went to the RSU to find out what makes these tabletop adventures so good at bringing people together.
The way this works right now, in case you forgot, board games are an extremely popular form of entertainment in the United States. Hasbro, the producer of board games like Yahtzee and Clue, generated $4.1 billion in revenue last year. The Bulldog Board Games Club represents a portion of this market, and to members of the club like Jarrett Register, these games are much more than simple pieces of cardboard. To him, they represent something that can be hard to come by while in college.
Getting a change of scenery, I guess, from everyday school life.
Of course, that's just one of many reasons students can find themselves in one of these meetings, which take place every Friday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the RSU. Club members are allowed to pick from a seemingly limitless array of board games, and Register explained how those games can form connections.
It lets people have fun with other students, kind of connect with them, without having to have it be through like a group project or something that can be kind of annoying like that.
Paige Mercer, another member of the club, agreed with Register, but added that it is the diversity of the club's population that helps foster those connections.
We really have somebody from every different space on campus, and we all can come in and play games and have fun and talk to each other, and really you never see so many different people in the room at the same exact time, all going to do one thing.
The great thing about board games is that they truly are for everybody. If you're a civil engineering major, you can play some Jenga. If you're a criminology major, you might want to be playing some Clue. Or if you're an English major, you can play some Scrabble and wipe the board.
You've never lost at Scrabble harder unless you've played against a couple of English majors. Really, we have a ton of different games that cater to different interests. I mean, like I said, I'm ag, and so I just went and bought like a chicken game.
Taylor Boyd, treasurer of the club, said that when they transferred here 3 years ago, it was the Bulldog Board Games Club that took them in and showed them what it was like to be part of a community.
This club means a lot to me. It helped me be able to find my friends to this day. So I wanted to be able to create a place that other people can hopefully experience the same thing I did.
Probably intentional.
Bulldog Board Games has a booth out in the Wheels Off Zone in front of the USU, which is staffed at least 6 hours a week.
The Fresno State football team continues to prepare for the fall 2025 season with an all-new coaching staff. With me today is defensive lineman Jazon Jacks. So I know you had 21 tackles last season, and I know you've been here since 2022 and been through plenty coaches changing. How do you deal with new coaches?
I would just say it's like a fresh start. It's like you're coming in, proving yourself every day to a new set of people and trying to show them what you're trying to do every day.
Do you see a difference within the team with the new coaches?
Yes, I think our team is more dedicated, more hungry. I think we want to win. I think we want to change around. Like these past 2 seasons, we haven't, done what we were supposed to do. So I feel like that's changing, and we're trying to all change that together.
What do you look forward to for this upcoming season?
Me personally, I look forward to kind of just proving all my doubters wrong, trying to just go out there and just have a great season for me and just show what I can do to the world.
What can the Red Wave expect to see from you this season?
The Red Wave can expect to see from me to just try to bring home a championship.
What's one thing you'd like the Red Wave to know about you that they don't already know?
I'm a great bowler.
Thank you for joining the show today, Jax.
Thank you.
Back to you at the desk.
In sports, we take a look at a new sports complex at Fresno Pacific University.
Plus, water polo is looking to get the job done for a 5th time. Who they will play coming up. Stay tuned for your Focus on Sports.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head.
Up in my head.
I got that bulldog spirit up in my head. Up in my head to say. I got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay.
I got that bulldog spirit
down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit
down in my toes. Hey.
Down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit up in my head, deep in my heart, down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit all over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit
deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, deep in my heart.
I'm Alexis Bruno with your Focus on Sports. A new women's basketball head coach is now in town. Brian McCarthy was welcomed to the Fresno State on Monday at an introductory press conference. McCarthy comes with 13 seasons under his belt at the University of Alaska Anchorage. There he gained 309 wins and 67 losses. Joined by family and friends at the press conference, McCarthy says the future players will fit in well.
We're excited. I'm excited about the recruits that we're talking to right now, and they are going to fit well with the style that we want to play.
McCarthy will rebuild a new roster with only 3 players set to return this far. After taking 2 games out of 3 against Air Force this past weekend, Fresno State couldn't get their first win against the Mustangs of Cal Poly on the road. Fresno State scored twice in the first inning, but the Mustangs answered back with 4 runs in the bottom of the frame. The Cal Poly offense kept scoring 1 to the 3rd and 3 times in the 4th inning, but the Dogs answered back with runs of their own. They scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Dogs couldn't hold up, and Cal Poly pulled away to win the season sweep over the Diamond Dogs 11-6. Fresno State is back at home this weekend as they welcome in Washington State. Continuing with baseball, but moving on to the south of us, Fresno Pacific showcased a new sports complex on their campus. The Sunbirds unveiled the new Dan Martin Stadium, this stadium right here, on April 9th. The ribbon-cutting ceremony had many people speaking, like Mayor Jerry Dyer and head coach of the baseball team, Oscar Hirschkorn. The new stadium also has an updated locker room. Here it is with people filled up, and a new press box. Athletic director for FPU says the future is bright for the baseball team.
I think the sky is the limit, my hope, and I know Coach Hirschkorn too, with all the new amenities, including all the technology we've installed, allows our student athletes and our baseball team to have the best experience they can have.
You can check out this new stadium next Monday when they take on Menlo College. They will also host the Pac West Championships in early May. Fresno State women's water polo team is back on the road this weekend. The Water Dogs are taking part in the Golden Coast Conference Championships in Los Angeles as the number 2 seed. The Bulldogs are looking for their 5th straight conference crown to add another banner, like you just saw, to the Aquatic Center. Last year, Fresno State took down their rival Stockton, the Tigers of Pacific. Junior attacker Haley Andres says the Water Dogs play well when they're loose.
Confidence. Confidence is key, and believing that we can do it and having fun. We play the best when we're having fun, when we're all working together. You see us laughing out there and smiling, that's when we play our best.
The first game of GCC play is against Concordia on Friday. Everyone sees the Fresno State football team under the bright Saturday night lights, but who gets them prepped for game day? Roland Fullwood takes us behind the scenes into the football team's equipment room.
Playing football is a contact sport. And without a proper equipment team, things can be dangerous. Fresno State's equipment director, Travis Hewitt, has one goal going into practice and games.
My main goal is to make the players and staff's job easier, so it's a service job, and just trying to make the day-to-day operations a little bit cleaner.
Defensive lineman Dejan Lafitte understands that his job on the field is harder without a good equipment team.
They do a lot. They basically make sure that our equipment is fully functioning, working before we go out there and play, giving us the space to play freely and not have to worry about the little things.
Players like Michael Ine understand the equipment team has a hard job, but they're some of the most important team members.
They do a lot, honestly. They make sure everything's right, equipment-wise. They make sure we have everything when we need it. Yeah, they're great people.
Hey, I'm Roland Fullwood here inside of the Fresno State equipment room. This is where student athletes come to get anything that they need to prepare for practice. To the left, we have a window where football players normally come to get cleats, gear for practice, gear for travel, braces, insoles, anything of that sort.
On the field is really making sure that the equipment that they have is comfortable, works properly. Make sure that they have the stuff that they need.
Having the proper equipment that's comfortable helps athletes play to their full potential. Live from
You can see the football team in action on August 30th for their first home game. That's your Focus on Sports. Back to you, Spencer.
Thanks so much, Alexis. Are you interested in learning about the process of brewing beer? Well, Fresno State has a class for you. Brew U is a class that dives into the history of brewing beer, types of craft beers, and how you can brew beer at home. The class tours local breweries to see the brewing process and taste test different types of beers. Instructor Chris Aces says he enjoys the way craft breweries bring communities together.
Craft breweries serve as a place for people to get together, meet their friends, meet new friends.
If you're interested in enrolling in the course, it is not too late. Contact Andy Hernandez with the Division of Continuing and Global Education if you would like to join. Next week on Fresno State Focus, we would take a look at the Madera Drive-In opening,
as well as the best study spots in the library. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, they told me to skip the